Tell everybody about it. You were there.
Well, I was there. It was very cool. It was an amazing setting because
Setting
so many.
so many Auburn folks. I would guess that probably 80, 85, maybe 90% of the fans were there. It was officially a sellout. Uh, Thanks to the Birmingham Bowl and Jay Barker, my family went. I went. Ted Feely with UAB asked me to fill in, do some work up in the press box, do some PA work, which was a lot of fun. I can break down the game real quick, but since we led with the Dana Holgerson quote, uh, you know, Jay, here's what my wife says when somebody's not being very nice because she doesn't like to curse. You said he was being a poopy head. Um, there's no reason to say that. And by the way, Auburn is the home team and the home state in their Birmingham Bowl. There are going to be more reporters asking more questions. I mean, come on, Dana. Can't you figure that? If you were in Houston, the news conference would have probably lasted longer. And when it was all said and done, somebody did the timing on it. Both news conferences lasted about the same amount of time. I don't know what his problem was. He was yelling outside there, hurry up, hurry up. Um, he made reference to it being an error by the bowl. But, Jay, I think what you just said, was he hacked at Harsin?
It seemed like it. Yeah, it seemed like it. Seemed like he was, saying, this is not how you treat the winning coach, or this is not how you take this much time. We're the ones that won the game. Get in, get out. Let us deal with the accolades, I guess. But you're right. I mean, great point. I mean, it's like they're the home team in a sense, because of the media is there. A lot more attention put on Auburn probably throughout the week as well. He probably just got frustrated, standing out there wanting to maybe get back to his team or just get back home. Who knows? But he got the win. That's the most important thing. And again, just watching it on TV yesterday, I just kept going. I was so thankful for Mark Meadows and all the people that put together the Birmingham Bowl and all the work that's gone into that for the last 15 years. I guess the bowl's been around or more. And just to see how that bowl game has progressed, and to see it in that beautiful stadium now, and all the fans that were there, and and having that great crowd. Yes, I've been up in that press box that you worked a number of times this past year watching UAB, and just been so just amazed by the job they did with the club level, and which you went out there for the Mike Slime Foundation for that, and were able to experience that. I'm sure you have at the games too. But just the way that they set that whole thing up and where it sits in downtown Birmingham is just such a great piece. And I was sharing with a buddy of mine yesterday. I'm like, if Auburn really wanted to pull something over Alabama right now, after seeing the crowd yesterday, they should go to the city of Birmingham and ask if they could play all their non-conference games in Birmingham from here on out. They'd have a big crowd, a lot bigger. The crowd would be bigger there for that than it would be at Auburn.
Well, the one thing that bothered me is more than anything is what you just said. What Mark and Heather and Missy and all the people of Birmingham did to put that bowl on. He kind of threw shadow on us, and I didn't appreciate that. I will tell you that later, he took a shot at our food. What did he go to fast food joint? I mean, you can't take a shot at our food. That upset me, maybe more than anything else. He did, however, kind of everybody's jumping on what he said when he walked in, frustrated for standing out in the hall, and not what he said later. And in fact, he was very complimentary. The other thing is that we took a beating nationally, and I don't know if you've seen this, but when they showed the trophy and Vulcan's bare glutes, the nation went crazy. What is this ironworker trophy thing? And people were yelling all across the country. I'm going, hey, you got time to post all of that stuff on social media. Take 1 minute, hit Google, learn about Vulcan, and you'll understand the whole deal instead of just reacting immediately to his bare behinds. But that was more funny than damaging. But taking a shot at the procedure and post game, taking a shot at our food, and then nationally beating up on Vulcan, which, by the way, can't be done. I want to emphasize the greatness of the bowl how the city responded, how the fans responded, the whole organization and all of that was just spot on. And my man Bill Miller, I'm going to mention him publicly because he and I have been friends for 4 years. He plays a great role in that and taking care of the media, so I dealt with him often. But all in all, it was great, except, Jay, you want to get to the football. Auburn's got problems except for number 4 on offense.
Yeah, you lose your quarterback in the transfer portal going to Oregon. And by the way, I heard you were the model for Vulcan. You're actually the one that they sculpted up.
Not even when I was 16.
Maybe it's Brian Passing. We'll ask him that on the other side. But yeah, I mean, Auburn's just got a lot of issues right now. And look, those things happen when you bring a new coach in. And Brian Harsin, I really think, and I thought from the very beginning, I'm like, okay, this guy, he seems to be organized. He seems to have, saying all the right things. Now, as Lars and I talked about early on, is that, man, we were just disappointed in the press conferences. They were just so boring. And Coach Saban is such a great storyteller, and Harris is more just kind of a meat and potatoes, and here's what we're doing and all that kind of stuff. And he'll get better at that. I mean, he's still growing and learning as a head coach, and he's just got to get the right people in place to run his style of offense, style of defense. So, yeah, but not the showing they wanted, but again, they got some more playing time for some young guys, and maybe they can build off of that. All right, we'll continue live from AVX. Brian Passing, color analyst of the Crimson Tide, is going to join us on the other side, so stay with us.
You're listening to The Jay Barker Show, live from the AVX studios in downtown Birmingham.
Roll Tide, the best sports talk, period. Your home for Alabama sports. Tide 100.9 and streaming on the Tide 100.9 app.
Have you wanted to speak a new language but thought it'd be too difficult or take too much time? Then try Babbel. In just 15 minutes a day, Babbel teaches you conversations that you will actually use. With 14 languages and lesson topics like travel, business, relationships, and more, you'll learn what matters most to you. Babbel. Language for life. Learn a new language with ease. Go to Babbel.com to try for free. That's BABBEL.com.
Have you ever wondered why eyeglasses cost so much? The eyewear industry has been dominated by a single company that's kept prices artificially high.
Yikes.
Warby Parker was created to change that. They design and produce their own eyewear and then sell it directly to you for a fraction of the price. Warby Parker's high-quality glasses start at just $95, including your prescription. Try 5 pairs of frames for free. Go to warbyparker.com to pick your 5 frames to try on at home for free. That's warbyparker.com.
Have you wanted to speak a new language but thought it'd be too difficult or take too much time? Then try Babbel. In just 15 minutes a day, Babbel teaches you conversations that you will actually use. With 14 languages and lesson topics like travel, business, relationships, and more, you'll learn what matters most to you. Babbel. Language for life. Learn a new language with ease. Go to Babbel.com to try for free. That's BABBEL.com.
If you are tired of searching the grocery store for meat you can trust, you need ButcherBox. They're a subscription service that delivers humanely sourced meat and sustainably sourced seafood right to your door. ButcherBox sources their products from partners with the highest standards for quality, which means you can stop combing the grocery aisles and start getting 100% grass-fed beef, free-range organic chicken, humanely raised pork, and even wild-caught seafood delivered to your doorstep. With ButcherBox, you can select a box that has everything you want all in one place. ButcherBox is giving new members 1 pack of bacon for free in every box, plus $20 off each box for the first 5 months of your membership. That's free bacon for life and up to $100 off. This limited time offer is available at butcherbox.com/radio or call us at 1-800-BUTCHER. That's 1-800-BUTCHER to sign up.
What are your 2022 business goals? Simplified IT? More security? Dell Technologies has the expertise to help you, from transforming your digital workspaces to providing comprehensive end-to-end IT solutions. Get high-performance computers featuring Windows 11 Pro with powerful hardware-based security and savings up to 45% during Dell's New Year event sale. Get special financing through Dell Financial Services. Call a Dell Technologies advisor at 877-ASK-DELL.
Hey, Ray Magliozzi here. Have you ever cooked a really fine gourmet meal? Yeah, me neither. But I'm told it all comes down to the ingredients. And when I need ingredients to improve my car, the place I go is eBay Motors. Whether you roasted your last transmission, graded your current floor mats, or pureed your side view mirror on a lamppost, eBay Motors has the right parts at the right prices. 122 million of them. And by the way, if you recently fired up your grill, don't worry, eBay Motors has grills too. eBay Motors. Let's ride.
Tide 100.9 Tuscaloosa weather.
Shower and thunderstorm chances will be increasing this afternoon into tonight. Some of the storms will be severe with tornadoes, damaging winds, and hail. So pay close attention to the weather through the day today and tonight. 74 the afternoon high, 65 tonight, 72 tomorrow as storms move out in the morning. I'm meteorologist Bill Murray on Tide 100.9.
It's 76 degrees in Tuscaloosa.
Hi, welcome back in as we continue hour number one here on this Wednesday edition. Hard to believe, just 2 days away from the Cotton Bowl and also the Orange Bowl and the 14th playoff, as we saw the Birmingham Bowl yesterday with Auburn going down to Houston. But right now we got Brian Passing. He is on with us, the color analyst of the Crimson Tide. Always a pleasure to have him on. We're talking about Alabama's first SEC matchup coming against the Tennessee Volunteers and of the 2021 season and or 21-22 season, excuse me, as we're getting closer to 2022. That's hard to believe itself and as well. Brian, welcome in. Thanks for being with us as always. Hope you're doing well. Hope you had a Merry Christmas.
Absolutely. Appreciate you having me. We did, and hope you guys did as well.
Man, let's go back to just even Nate Oates yesterday. We carried the press conference and kind of talking about as far as some of the things that he felt like the team continually needed to work on, and how some players you're going to get better, especially those who spend a lot of time in the gym. But just from your assessment, being a former player, been around the program for a long time, kind of how do you see this team this year that's had some really big wins at big moments and also has had some tough losses, and especially here at the very end of non-conference play?
Yeah, I think this team has played really well at times in the non-conference. And one of the reasons you play one of the most difficult non-conference schedules in the country is to expose yourself to good teams and expose yourself to your weaknesses so you can improve on them. And Alabama has had some bumps in the road, and I think they'll get better from it. I think the things that they learned in the games against, especially these recent losses against Memphis and Davidson in the game before Christmas, that this team needs to get better on the defensive end. They need to get better rebounding the ball. And I expect to see a better Alabama team tonight against the Tennessee Volunteers. Alabama, like a lot of teams around the country and the SEC, could have scheduled a lot of wins in the non-conference. And Alabama, fortunately, was able to get several quality wins and some of the best wins of the year in college basketball against the previously number one ranked team on the road against Gonzaga, and a top, at the time, a top 5, top 10 caliber team in Houston at home. So there have been some really good wins, and even the losses, disappointing, certainly. Not bad losses, though. I mean, the Davidson loss is the quad one game. Certainly, you definitely wanted to win that game. Alabama, coming into that game, was a top 10 team. You expect to win those types of games, but not a bad loss, and a loss that you could learn from. This Tennessee team's a little different than Davidson. I think they have the capability to shoot it at a very high clip. Not sure, at least statistically, they don't shoot it quite as well as Davidson. Not many teams in college basketball do. Davidson came in as one of the top 3 or 4 three-point shooting teams in the country. But the Volunteers do it a different way. But where they are elite is on the defensive end. This is maybe the best defensive team in the country in Tennessee coming into Coleman Coliseum tonight.
Again, Brian Pasick, our guest color analyst, the Crimson Tide, tonight at 8 o'clock. He'll be calling the game right there at Coleman Coliseum at 8 o'clock Central Time against the Tennessee Volunteers. When you look down the schedule, and we did this yesterday, just went down and down and down, and it was me and Mick Gillespie talking about just the competition level in the SEC right now. We used to think about the ACC and these other, we were coming up Big East, all those type of conferences that had all these great basketball programs, and the SEC has had their run at times, but man, right now, I mean, you just look down that list of teams they've got in the SEC play. It's going to be a tough schedule and some really great competition.
Really good. I mean, it reminds me, and everybody thinks their era is the best, but the early to mid '90s in the SEC was about as tough as it gets. I mean, I can't remember what year it was, but we finished. That was back when you had divisions. In basketball, which of course you don't now, but there was a year, I think we finished like third or fourth in the West, top 5 in a 4 or 5 seed in the NCAA tournament. And we're getting back to there. The top half, the top 7, maybe 8 of the SEC is as good as it's ever been. You're talking about 7, possibly 8, or even more. I mean, we'll see how the year unfolds. NCAA tournament team. So night in and night out, you're going to be challenged in a big way. Tennessee coming tonight is one of those teams, along with Alabama and several others, that will have a chance to compete for the SEC regular season championship. And if you win the SEC this year, you've done something, because this league is good. It's deep, especially at the top. We've had years in the past where maybe top to bottom the league's really good, but the upper half of the league weren't necessarily teams that could make a run to a Final Four and win a national championship. I think you have several teams in the SEC this year that are good enough to compete for the national championship, and that's not something we've said in a long, long time, if ever, in the SEC.
Just look at the 4 teams playing tonight: Alabama, Tennessee, LSU, and Auburn. They could all be Sweet 16 teams. You are right, maybe top heavy, but the SEC is loaded this year. One of the things that Nate Oates talked about in the last 3 games where Alabama hasn't played up to the level that they did earlier in the year, you pointed out one, Brian, he's worried about defense because they played such great defense early. But now he said specifically he's worried about guards penetrating, getting into the paint, and then Bediako has to come step up, and it throws your offensive, defensive rebounding all out of whack. Do you see that? I mean, Alabama has 3 or 4 of the best guards in the country. They're not D'ing off of the perimeter, are they?
They've been really good defensively, but it's been inconsistent. And defensively, it's hard to be really good on the defensive end if you're constantly in scramble situations. So whether it's in transition, whether it's offensive rebound, scramble situations, or getting beat off of dribble penetration, it's just hard to be an elite level defense like this team was last year, one of the top 5 defenses in the country. A lot of that had to do with Herb Jones, but a lot of it had to do with other guys playing at a higher level and consistently throughout the year as well. This team, I think, has definitely the potential. They've shown in certain games this year where they've been much better defensively than they were against Memphis, than they were against Davidson. But it starts with just guarding your man. I mean, it's as simple as that sometimes. I mean, there's a lot of complexities when you play a team like Tennessee that go into it. But if that first thing breaks down, and that is guarding your man and defending against dribble penetration, then you're going to have a long night against a really good team tonight. It's a really good team, and we're going to be saying that pretty much each and every night in the SEC. But against Houston, Alabama gave up a ton of offensive rebounds, and a lot of that was blocking out, but a good bit of it was just not being in position to block out because you had help and recover and scramble situations because on-ball defense wasn't to the level that Nate Oates and his staff want. That has been a point of emphasis the last 3 or 4 days in practice, and it needs to be at a high level tonight to beat the Volunteers because they've got guards that can get in the lane and make plays for themselves and their teammates. But I expect Alabama to play well tonight, especially on the defensive end.
Brian Passing from the Alabama Crimson Tide Sports Network is our guest here on the Jay Barker Show. Hey, can you give us a quick thumbnail sketch on what we expect from Tennessee, where their strengths and possibly weaknesses?
Yeah, their strengths are all over the place. they're really good. And you mentioned the 4 teams in the doubleheader, at least the games that will have a lot of interest in state with Alabama, Tennessee, and then before that, Auburn and LSU. I think not only could all 4 of those be Sweet 16 teams, I don't think there's a one that doesn't have Final Four national championship aspirations. So high-level basketball going on tonight. But Tennessee and LSU, I think the 2 best defensive teams in the country. So that's where you start with Tennessee. They really guard you. Rick Barnes has done it for a long time at a high level. It starts on the defensive end. So Alabama's going to have to be secure with the ball. They create a lot of turnovers, and they're hard to get good looks against. So Alabama's going to want to push the pace. Tennessee will run as well, but they're really talented. Kennedy Chandler was the consensus of number 1 point guard in the country coming out of high school. A lot of people thought he and J.D. Davison were 1 and 2. So that'll be a fun matchup along with Javon Quinterly. Santiago Vescovi is he now has let us all know after 3 years that we've been pronouncing his name wrong, but he has been really good on the perimeter, moving to the shooting guard position. Fulkerson, who was SEC Player of the Year candidate a couple of years ago, is back for his 6th year, got extra year of eligibility because of the COVID situation last year. He's playing at a high level. But you go up and down this roster with Tennessee, they're the highest ranked SEC team in terms of all the analytics. They're really good on both ends of the floor. Alabama's going to have their work cut out for them tonight, but I expect it to be a great atmosphere and high-level basketball being played. And whoever wins this game is going to have to play at a high level because this is 2 of the better teams in the SEC going at it.
Brian, always great to have you on. Always great stuff. And good luck tonight. Have a great call, and roll tide to you guys.
All right, guys. I appreciate it. Roll tide.
All right, brother. Thank you, Brian. Brian Passing, color analyst, Crimson Tide Network. Normally, Roger Hoover joins us here at 12:30 coming up on the other side. He's going to join us tomorrow instead, as he is doing a lot of stuff getting ready for the playoff game coming up on Friday. So he will be with us tomorrow for the show, so look forward to that. Roger Hoover, again, with the Crimson Tide Sports Network. Hey, at 1 o'clock, we got Andrew Bone. He'll join us. We'll talk some recruiting with him today and get his thoughts on the impact of being in the 14 playoff. And just, again, recapping the 2022 signing class. How good is it? How good is it going to be, and the potential for this team moving forward over the next couple of years? And also the transfer portal. What guys will Alabama find again this year in the transfer portal? Who's going to be eligible? A lot of those guys are going to start coming out even more after the bowl game is bowl games and playoffs are finished up and we move closer to the national title game. All that and more coming up on the other side. We're live from AVX. Audio Video Excellence continues. Stay with us.
You're listening to The Jay Barker Show, live from the AVX studios in downtown Birmingham.
1 in 7 men will face prostate cancer. Nearly 500 new cases are diagnosed every day in the U.S. Traditional treatments can cause erectile dysfunction and urinary incontinence. But now there's a new option, high-intensity focused ultrasound, or HIFU.
Men who are really looking for an option that really preserves their urinary and sexual function are great candidates for HIFU treatment.
Preserve your quality of life. Call 866-4-VITURO or visit VituroHealth.com.
Hi, it's Jay Barker for AVX, Audio Video Excellence. They are the premier provider for custom audio-visual design and installation in the Southeast. AVX seeks excellence in everything it does, including a superior employee experience. AVX offers employees an industry-leading salary, insurance benefits, and 401k options. AVX technicians also receive the highest level of certification and continue training, making it one of the most awarded and decorated companies in the industry. Career opportunities are available now for technicians in Birmingham and Santa Rosa Beach, Florida. Join the AVX team by contacting them at avxinc.com.
Hi, this is Wes McClooney, owner of the New Balance Birmingham store. If you're average and you're looking for a new pair of running or walking shoes, I suggest you go to an average shoe store, where they'll sell you a pair of average shoes built for the average person with average size feet. But here's the thing. You're not average. No one is. We all exercise differently. We run differently. We walk differently. And our feet come in all sorts of widths and lengths. That's why at the New Balance Birmingham store, we employ fit specialists who will conduct an in-depth analysis of your foot size and shape, along with your gait, and then determine the best New Balance shoes custom fit to you. Because New Balance isn't your average shoe, and you're not average either. Experience the difference an unaverage custom fit makes today at the New Balance Birmingham store on Highway 280. New Balance Birmingham, your feet thank you.
Hi, it's Jay Barker. I want to tell you about my good friends Craig and Keith at Birmingham Broker. Go online at bhambroker.com. That's bhambroker.com or 205-716-1269. Got 7 kids, man, and we had to sell a lot of cars. And these guys are looking for a lot of inventory. They helped us with all the hassle. No stress for us. They did the process as far as the sales and everything. Handled it all the way through. White glove type service. You'll love it. Again, it's bhambroker.com. Sell your car through bhambroker.com or 205-716-1269. Hi, it's Jay Barker for Siebel's in downtown Homewood, and now's time to get your special place ready. Come in and let Siebel's design your porch with Kingsley Bait outdoor furniture and one of their custom swinging beds. For the great room, you're going to need their Carson swivel recliner. Siebel's is the #1 Carson recliner dealer in the country, and Sarah and I, we've got one, and we absolutely love it. Be sure also to check out their famous custom-made beds and bunk beds built by Siebel's and made up with some of their best linens in town. Their staff can truly put your bed together like no other store. You can also follow Siebel's and shop on Instagram and Facebook. And be sure to call or go by their special store in downtown Homewood. The number is 800-448-1962. That's 800-448-1962. And just for listening, go to SiebelsCottage.com and order anything you want and type in Jay Barker for a special discount code. That's Jay Barker for a special discount code available only to our listeners for a limited time on The Jay Barker Show. Siebel's in downtown Homewood or online at SiebelsCottage.com.
It's Antonio Langham here to tell you about the easiest way to buy your tickets to your next high school game. Have you ever had to wait in line to buy a high school ticket or stop to get cash on the way to the game? There has to be a better way. There is. It's called GoFan. Check out GoFan.co the next time you need a ticket for a high school game. GoFan is easy, fast, and completely secure. You can buy tickets directly from your phone and just show the ticket at the gate. Download the GoFan app or visit GoFan.co now. That's GoFan.co. Letter C, letter O.
I think Bryce played well all year long, so it's hard to say that, like he wasn't very good and he got better. He's been better all year long. I think he's got more confidence. He's got more confidence in the players that play around him in terms of what they have to do. I think his knowledge of the entire system on offense and being able to help us stay away from bad plays has probably improved. As the season is going on, it's just knowledge and experience. But he's played really well for us all year long, and it's important the way we have to play on offense for him to be that kind of player.
Finally, on Friday, you have a very talented Cincinnati team. When you look at Cincinnati, what stands out as you've studied them over the past few weeks?
Well, I think they're just a really good all-around team, man. These guys play hard. They compete really well. They believe in what they're doing. They're very well coached. They execute on offense, defense, and special teams. They have a lot of experience. They have an older team that's played together for a long time. And they have some really good players. So, the quarterback's a really good player. The running back's a really good player. They got some good receivers. Their offensive line does a good job. They got some significant players on defense. The 2 corners are really good players. They got some good pass rushers. 21 does a great job for them up front pass rushing. But they play really hard and really well together, as a team. And they got good team speed and they play well on special teams. So this is a good team. As good a team as we've played all year.
Medical property.
All right, welcome back in as we continue getting ready for the 14 playoff coming up, Alabama and Cincinnati, and also the Michigan and Georgia game. And Matt, yesterday we were talking about some of the matchups and kind of where these two teams are and get your thoughts on that. But real quick, we talked a little bit about this earlier, and I'd love to hear again just from your perspective. I mean, I know you were working the game and you were up in the press box, but just talk about the fan experience yesterday. And did you hear much from a lot of the Auburn fans or even people that you knew of? I know you had family that went out to the Birmingham Bowl, but it just looked like it was such a great atmosphere, and the actual stadium itself, having a chance to have been there for a number of games now and been there for other events is just such a beautiful venue. But what was some of the reaction of maybe some people that you heard that had not had a chance to be inside the stadium yet?
Oh, grade A, A plus. Those were the grades that I heard walking in and walking out. It was spectacular. And I know people say this, but when I say it, it's true, Jay. There isn't a bad seat in that house. And it holds, 4,750? So everybody has a good look, whether you're in the end zone or whether you're high on the 50. It's a great look. And the accommodations, I've gone just a couple of times as a fan, and I found that I had access to beer carts. Okay. Hot dogs. Really quick. I wasn't down in that area to experience what it was like with 47,000 people there, but I didn't hear any complaints about it. It's spectacular to look at from the outside. It's great when you go over there and park at Topgolf, which many people did. I'll tell you what surprised me, and maybe I just got lucky, but I got in and out pretty good. And there were a lot of people there. And I guess you credit the city of Birmingham and the law enforcement for getting people in and out of there. But I'll wrap it up by saying this, Jay. I didn't hear a single person poo-poo what was a great day at Protective Stadium. And I might also throw out this kudos as long as I'm throwing the laurels out. UAB is the host school, the host stadium, and Ted Feely and their staff did a really, really good job because all the media, hospitality, and all that kind of stuff falls back on them and other folks as well, including the Birmingham Bowl. But all I heard, Jay, were A pluses.
Yeah, and I think it's so cool that, we had our state finals there, that Birmingham Bowl. I mean, and the good thing for UAB, too, is that they have their own locker room. So nobody ever gets to use their locker room. It's theirs. And I think that's something that was kind of missed, whether it been at Legion Field or other places, even for Alabama, when we played there at non-conference games or whatever back in the, 70s, 80s, 90s, and even before. But, I think for them to have that special kind of this is our place, nobody touches it but us type deal, I think is pretty awesome. And even in the bowl games or other type of matchups like high school championships. All right, congratulations to Mark Meadows and all the folks that make that Birmingham Bowl happen and really put on a great showcase for the city as well, even though we got a few remarks from our actual trophy that we forgot to ask Brian about. Hey, so when we look at, I know we've broken down Alabama and Cincinnati a ton, but I want to ask you, yesterday, Mick and I were talking about Michigan and this Georgia team and just the matchup, how really those two teams, for me, I think that's a great matchup for Georgia. I think Georgia is able to, handle the trenches of Michigan because their offensive line has been really good this year. It just reminds me of kind of that, one of those older SEC Big Ten type matchups. You're going to have kind of the trenches type deal, run the ball, but it's going to be the speed and athleticism of these Southeastern Conference players that I think ends up winning out in it. Not so sure if they don't win out in a big way.
I love the comparison to the old, Alabama playing Ohio State. Woody versus Coach Bryant. Of course, Coach Bryant owned that, but I love the matchup just from its physicality. Harbaugh has finally brought Michigan to the top, but they didn't they drew the short straw. Only thing I guess it could have been worse for Michigan is to have drawn Alabama. But I expect this is going to be a head knocker. And as much as we've talked about the quarterbacks, the running games, the defense, particularly when it comes to Georgia, I think of two things. One of these two quarterbacks is going to have to make big plays. You don't win games of this magnitude without having a quarterback step up and make 2 or 3 incredible throws. One of these guys is going to have to do it. The other intangible is, Jay, and I'm going to throw this one back to you. Where's Georgia's mind? They had a brilliant, undefeated season. Nobody could score on them. Then Alabama handed it to them in a handbasket. Where do you think, and it's all on Kirby to me, to gather them back and have them play a really good game against Michigan? But I don't know. You got a daughter that plays basketball in Athens. You got more connections over there than I do. Where are the Bulldogs' minds?
Yeah, I think I shared with Mary Beth. I saw Kirby's wife at the last game I was at there in Athens, and I walked up and I said, "How's it going? How's Kirby?" And she said, pretty much first gave me an expression, and then just talked about a little bit of frustration and just the pressure that comes along with that job. But she is such a sweetheart, my gosh. But I think for them it's rebound from this. I think their coaching staff is energetic and young, and I think that they realized that they got to keep this team mentally tough and psychologically in the right place, and you got to let that one go. Even if you win it, you got to let it go, because you want to win an SEC title, but the ultimate is to win the national championship. So for them, they still have everything in front of them that they can still win and still play for, and I really think this is the better matchup for them. I think Cincinnati would have given Georgia maybe a little bit harder time just based on their speed and athleticism on the outsides, where this, I think they can really stifle, gain some confidence back against Michigan. And we'll see. Michigan right now is the darling, though, Matt. I mean, I know you've seen kind of the press and the media, but man, the northern or northeast media and even out west, they want to see Alabama, Georgia. They want to see them go down. They're pulling for Michigan. They're pulling for Cincinnati. They want to see Cincinnati be the first Group of 5 team that actually makes to the finals and shows that they belong in this Final Four.
Well, if it goes as the early bowls game, and I don't expect that it will, Group of 5s have won 3 games against SEC. So, that's pretty interesting. Don't think that's going to come through. I was really surprised with, Mississippi State laid the other half of the Egg Bowl not against Texas Tech.
They could not do anything last night. God.
No, and it was because you remember Will Rogers in the second half against Auburn? Where was that guy? Where were those play calls? I don't know. Bowl games are odd now, and maybe not so much in the CFP, but I think in the others, who wants it and who is mentally prepared, like UAB. They were mentally prepared. They were inspired. They played great football, and they knocked off a top 20 team and a top 20 powerhouse and whipped them at the line of scrimmage in BYU. And then, you have other teams in the SEC, like the Bulldogs last night, who just seem to not even want to be there.
Yeah, and I think, Matt, two things. Number one, and people have talked about this for years, is how can we speed up the bowl games? In other words, why does there have to be such a long period of time between the last game and the bowl game starting? A lot of that's because semesters ending. They want to get the students, athletes, they are students, a chance to study, get their exams done, kind of finish up that part of their lives, and then go to the bowl games, enjoy that, and enjoy the holidays. But I think it's maybe those longer times or weeks spans between that last game and what they're playing for in a bowl game. The other is that, in what we've kind of seen with COVID and all the protocols and different things that, I think that fear and other things have allowed maybe some coaching staffs to get off track a little bit and maybe not have practiced, at the same level they maybe would have if those things weren't of cautionary, that they have to worry about and stuff. And that beautiful trophy there that UAB is holding up there, and it was a great win for them. When you look at it over the last 5 years, right there, that's pretty cool. Yeah, it's 43-20 overall, 2-time Conference USA champion, 3-time Conference USA West champion, most wins in Conference USA, 2-time bowl champion, defeated highest nationally ranked number 13 BYU and bowl eligible all 5 years. Pretty amazing to see a program that was put to death in a sense. It was put to death, and then they brought it back to life. And it's come back to life in a huge way. And a lot of that credit goes to Bill Clark, especially, and his coaching staff, and just all the guys have done such a great job there. But I think that's what it is, Matt. I just think it's the length of time, and I think also maybe the COVID protocols kind of, maybe mentally got in the way of some of these players and coaches and their preparation, get ready for bowl games.
Hey, I want to credit our friends at BamaInsider because we air a lot of video online when we're streaming. You also can access BamaInsider through YouTube and get the Jay Barker Show. But you're seeing some fresh video from Dallas of some of Alabama's workouts, and that's just a great job done by their entire staff. And by the way, you can dial us up and stream us through BamaInsider. When you do, like, join, subscribe, and share. Hey, Jay, something happened. I guess it was yesterday. I don't know if y'all had a chance to talk about it because I can't remember exactly when the news broke. But John Madden, literally a football icon, as a coach, as a broadcaster, as a video game guy. He passed away. Most everyone knows that now. And you know that I worked with Ken Stabler, who was his quarterback back in the NFL days. I got a pretty good Madden story that I can share because of my friendship with Kenny Stabler. We might attack that on the other side of this break.
Yeah, let's do that. I look forward to it. And you're right. I mean, Madden, just I remember one of the quotes he had. He said, "I never worked a day in my life, from player to coach to broadcaster." And always thought that was great. And all the different commercials that he did. I think Miller Lite was one of them, and others that we remember him from back in the day as well. Hey, Fully Promoted, if you're struggling with getting just maybe new ideas on how to brand and market your business, you want to tell your story in a different way, or tell your story just so people can hear your story. Well, that's what Fully Promoted can help you do. Fully Promoted offers extensive branding marketing solutions to get your name in front of as many potential customers as possible. And they got local experts to help you do that when it comes to putting your logo on apparel, team gear, caps, promotional products, trade show items, and printed materials, and so much more. Let Fully Promoted help you do that today. Give them a call at 205-406-6430. Mention that you heard this ad on the Jay Barker Show for that special offer. Again, that's 205-406-6430. 205-406-6430. Are you fully promoted? I will wrap up hour number one. Stay with us here live on Bama Insider YouTube. Also, Facebook Live for Bama Insider and across the radio network all throughout the state of Alabama, down the Gulf Coast with our flagship station, Tide 100.9 FM. We'll be back.
You're listening to The Jay Barker Show, live from the AVX studios in downtown Birmingham.
The best sports talk in the state. Tide 100.9 and streaming on the Tide 100.9 app.
I can go from 0 to 60 way too fast.
Who knew electric vehicle owners were having so much fun?
20 or 30 years ago, I owned a gas sports car, and this car is much quicker.
It's a great, fun car to drive. When you put your foot on the accelerator, it just goes.
They're fun, they're fast, they're efficient.
Visit driveelectricalabama.com to learn how you can start having fun driving an electric vehicle.
Sponsored by the Alabama Clean Fuels Coalition, the ABA, and this station.
Diabetes, high blood pressure, anxiety meds, everyone's on them. You're a 50-year-old male, maybe a bit porky, and you may even have type 2 diabetes. $1 million of term insurance may only cost you about $200 a month. Call Term Provider. Speak with Big Lou at 800-777-1225. Big Lou will find a term life policy for you even if you have type 2 diabetes, are overweight, or have high blood pressure. Term Provider has helped thousands of people like you who think they can't afford term life insurance. To buy $1 million of affordable term life for you, all you need to do is call Big Lou at 800-777-1225. Lou will make sure the scales are tipped in your favor. Call 800-777-1225. Big Lou will answer your call and work to fit you into a term life policy that you can afford. Remember, Big Lou's like you. He's on meds too. Call 800-777-1225. 800-777-1225.
Paid for by Christian Care Ministry.
Here's a great thing to consider doing right now before the end of the year.
Call MediShare and find out just how much you would save by switching to MediShare, the affordable alternative to health insurance. When you call, you'll get some good news and probably be very happily surprised too. The typical family saves $500 a month, but you might save even more. It's so worth it to at least find out. And you'll see why more than 400,000 people are already members. MediShare is a Christian community that's shared more than $4 billion in each other's healthcare costs. It really is remarkable, and they're very easy to talk to. And here's the thing. If you join before the end of the year, they'll waive your new member fee. That's another $170 you'll save. I'll give you the number here in a second. The call, and you'll get a price within 2 minutes. And again, the deadline is December 31st, so call now. You'll save even more. Call 855-51-BIBLE. That's 855-51-BIBLE. 855-51-BIBLE.
My caretaker was very rough with me. I thought they did it because I wasn't moving fast enough.
Elder abuse is a crime, and together we can stop it. If you or someone you know has been abused, neglected, or exploited, call the Adult Abuse Hotline at 1-800-458-7214. That's 1-800-458-7214. Sponsored by the Alabama Department of Human Resources, the Department of Justice, ADECA grant number 18 VA-VS050, the ABA, and this station.
I know you've been waiting a little bit longer than normal.
Jen's manicure spot needs an extra pair of hands.
Who's at the front desk right now?
Someone who's handy with everything from nail files to spreadsheet files.
Deidre's not coming in today, but we have that whole bachelorette party.
Indeed can help her hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. Instant Match instantly connects you with quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed match your sponsored job description. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Tide 100.9 Tuscaloosa weather.
Shower and thunderstorm chances will be increasing this afternoon into tonight. Some of the storms will be severe with tornadoes, damaging winds, and hail. So pay close attention to the weather through the day today. And 74 the afternoon high, 65 tonight, 72 tomorrow as storms move out of the morning. I'm meteorologist Bill Murray on Tide 100.9.
It's 76 degrees in Tuscaloosa.
Wait a minute. His was a genuine exuberance. Each boom and wham, a natural expression of his unrelenting passion for football.
They bring from the outside and boom, two up the middle.
He took viewers inside, explaining what he saw and what it meant.
Did you see that club that he put on the guard? Kendall Simmons came down and he just clubbed him right there. Boom! With his left. If you want to be a nose tackle in life, that's the way to play it.
All the while making it insightful for even the most knowledgeable fan and entertaining for all of us.
We don't know where this thing is going to end up today, though.
The idea that you could have fun and that you could laugh.
See how heat does come out the top of your head? Look at it just coming off at Nate's head there. You could have a barbecue on that head. What's this stuff back here? That has to be his. Look, there's a fish going by. A fish just flew right by his head.
And it just translated into this wonderful, fun broadcast.
He was informed by his own experience on the sidelines and boundless dedication to the craft, the endless rolls of film, the countless conversations. It all adds up to 30 years at 4 different networks, 16 Emmys, 11 Super Bowls, tremendous impact.
John Madden is considered one of the game's foremost experts when it comes to analyzing and breaking down plays. Making the game look realistic is a priority.
I remember when we first started, we always wanted the video game, to look like it does on television.
Madden climbs on board with the project and lends his full support to the team at EA.
He gave us all his playbooks.
Red 40, hut.
Those were really cool.
You red.
What really had been up until that time a real arcadey kids kind of thing. And all of a sudden we've got real NFL coaches' playbooks and real information about the roster of NFL teams, and gave us pros and cons for each team.
Video game has endured.
All right, welcome back in, and some highlights there about John Madden, who passed away yesterday. And Matt, I know you wanted to share a story. I'll say this: when you think back just on, his ability, to use the telestrator, and the funny things that he did with that as well, which we won't get into, but he, the first one really to draw up the plays and show you all the stuff, and the way that he would just do all that, and just such a great personality. And again, the quote he had that I was shared earlier is that he said, "I never worked a day in my life from a player to a coach to a broadcaster."
Doink! That was my favorite. Doink! One of the reasons he was so popular as a broadcaster is because he brought non-football fans in front of the television set. And to a network, that is gold. And then he set the standard for video games. Jay, I'm going to have to admit, I've never played Madden. Have you? Did you play that at Alabama? I
have. I mean, I've played it before. I'm not a big video game guy. I mean, I think that was behind our generation. We just didn't, and it nothing like it is now. I mean, it's amazing. I walk by sometimes and wonder when the kids are playing, or if I'm in a locker room watching players, I'm like, is that a game on, or is that they're playing, Madden, or what game is that's happening? Pretty amazing what they did. And EA Sports developed the Madden football game back in, what was it, around 1988, I think it was, somewhere in there, late 80s. And the founder of the company, Trip Hawkins, actually approached John Madden and about purchasing stock in EA. And according to an outside the lines report, they offered Madden, then a broadcaster, for CBS a chance to have as much stock as you wanted. They said when the former Raiders coach questioned what have meant, Hawkins informed him that he would have had to buy the stock. Madden wanted no part of it. He said, "I'm just a football coach." So pretty amazing. He could have had stock in that particular game. Hey, when we come back on this, I know we're running out of time, but it realized how short it was. I do want to hear the story about John Madden that you have. And I know you were very close to Kenny Stabler as well, who was his quarterback and championship team and all that good stuff. So we'll get into that and much more coming up on the other side. Stay with us. Hour number 2 coming up next.
One in 7 men will face prostate cancer. Nearly 500 new cases are diagnosed every day in the U.S. Traditional treatments can cause erectile dysfunction and urinary incontinence. But now there's a new option, high-intensity focused ultrasound, or HIFU.
Men who are really looking for an option that really preserves their urinary and sexual function are great candidates for HIFU treatment.
Preserve your quality of life. Call 866-4-VITURO or visit VituroHealth.com.
At Schaefer Plastic Surgery, not only they treat you like family, you get a free opening consultation. Not normally you get that for elective surgeries. You do with Dr. Schaefer. And he also combines experience gained from nearly 2 decades in practice, 8 years in advanced training to achieve beautiful, transformative results for his patients. As a board-certified plastic surgeon, Dr. Schaefer's goal is to exceed expectations while being dedicated to safety before, during, and after the procedure. Go online at SchaeferPlasticSurge.com. That's Schaefer Plastic, SURG.com, or 205-278-7969. For more information and located on Highway 280 across from Grandview Hospital. We all want to create a product or service that's going to change the marketplace. Jeremy and Gina Miller have done it with LocalRealty.com. LocalRealty.com, they've saved sellers over $600,000 in listing fees just in the last 2 years alone. How do they do it? The full service flat listing fee of $2,900, saving you thousands. 5-star ratings on Zillow with over 400 testimonials. Sold over 1,000 plus homes in the Birmingham metro area since 2016. Go online at LocalRealty.com or give them a call at 205-564-3200. That's 564-3200 to Local Realty. I know you know about Guthrie's Chicken Fingers, but do you know about the Guthrie family? 1992, they started selling chicken fingers. They were the first chicken finger restaurant and the first drive-through chicken finger restaurant ever. They've been around for over 50 years. Since the beginning, Guthrie's have been using only the finest ingredients in their Guthrie's boxes. While others have tried to copy, nothing tastes like Guthrie's chicken fingers dipped in that Guthrie's famous sauce. Guthrie's restaurants are expanding to give the entire U.S. a taste of their golden fried chicken fingers. Franchise opportunities are available. Go to Guthrie'sChicken.com. That's Guthrie'sChicken.com for more information.
Hi, it's Jay Barker. I want to tell you about my good friends Craig and Keith at Birmingham Broker. Go online at BHAMBroker.com. That's BHAMBroker.com or 205-716-1269. Got 7 kids, and we had to sell a lot of cars. And these guys are looking for a lot of inventory. They helped us with all the hassle. No stress for us. They did the process as far as the sales and everything. Handled it all the way through. White glove type service. You'll Again, it's BHAMBroker.com. Sell your car through BHAMBroker.com or 716-1269.
Whether it's for lunch or dinner, out to the Cajun Steamers, a New Orleans-style joint that serves authentic Cajun and Creole food, cold beer, and great drinks. They are known for their wide array of Cajun classics and original creations prepared in an authentic fashion. This Louisiana kitchen can have you slapping the table for more. Stop by the Cajun Steamer and sign up for your Alabama, LSU, or Auburn fan card. Eat with the Cajun Steamer while your team is on TV and use your fan card to receive a 15% discount on your entire meal. With locations in Hoover, Trustful, Huntsville, and Franklin, Tennessee, they've got you covered. Head out today to Cajun Steamer, Birmingham's best Mexican restaurant for over 20 years and counting. That's La Paz Restaurant in Crestline Village and Mount Laurel. They've got a great staff. Its delicious menu, award-winning cheese dip, and margaritas and vibrant atmosphere have helped to make La Paz a local favorite. Blue corn nachos, Texas barbecue quesadillas, steak and blue quesadillas, Baja fish tacos, signature fajitas, and much, much more. So head over to La Paz today. If you want a great lunch or a great dinner, you'll find all that at La Paz, Crestline, and Mount Laurel for lunch or dinner.
In July of 2022, the World Games are coming to Birmingham, Alabama. This international sporting event will trumpet Birmingham's arrival on the world stage. Thousands of athletes from across the globe will bring their hopes and dreams of winning gold. Their stories of perseverance and triumph will capture the world's imagination. This is the new generation of sport. This is the World Games 2022. Tickets on sale now at twg2022.com.
WTUG HD2 Northport and W265CG Tuscaloosa. Tide 100.9 and streaming on the Tide 100.9 app.
Touchdown. That championship trophy is headed back to Tuscaloosa. Now 15 dominating with his defense. Richardson breaks free on the sideline. End zone. How about that? You saw the Gatorade shower this time. I love it. Clippers wide open. Tide rolling again. Alabama again, the champions of college football. The roots are kicker and will not be caught. Touchdown break. Alabama back on top. Fires to the end zone. Touchdown. Alabama wins. The Crimson Tide will not be denied. Devontae Smith cannot be stopped. Saban for the 7th national championship. National championship number 18. 13 in all. Absolute perfection.
Jay Barker led the Crimson Tide to a national championship in 1992. Winner of the Johnny Unitas Golden Arm Award and a finalist in New York for the Heisman Trophy. Voted the SEC Player of the Year. Drafted by the Green Bay Packers, seeing time with the New England Patriots and the Carolina Panthers. The winningest quarterback in Alabama history with the record of 35-2-1. Member of the Alabama Sports Hall of Fame. Jay Barker brings that same championship quality and football expertise to his own radio network and show. Joining him is University of Alabama professor Lars Anderson, who is also a New York Times best-selling author and a 20-year veteran of Sports Illustrated. Live from the AVX studios in downtown Birmingham, The Jay Barker Show.
He's right in this group here, and you see he comes under control to catch that hook, and Sean Taylor, the safety, just comes up and unloads him. Holy man, you're talking about launching. He launched Creighton halfway back to
Indeed. Well, they can take me from here standing next to you, which is going to happen. But one thing they can't take is my feeling for you, the friendship we developed. We've been a team, and I'm proud of that fact. We've been a winning team.
And the memories of 21 years and 21 great years, and not only, 21 years of games, but 21 years of being together and everything. As you say, those memories will be with us forever, and they can never be taken away. And I have a plaque here. It's from the playing field to the broadcast booth. Fox Sports salutes 50 years of NFL greatness to Pat Summerall. And this is part of the goalpost from Yankee Stadium. New York Giants 13, Cleveland Browns 10. Pat Summerall kicks winning 49-yard field goal.
Well, John, I can't thank you enough. I thought at first that was the bench where I was sitting most of the time.
That's what the old goalposts look like.
Well, I'll cherish that as well. Let's go down to JB.
Number 99. Elway asking for quiet.
forget he can roll out and likes to.
The shot. That is great football. Gary Reasons on that drive made 3 of the best hits I've ever seen him make in his life. I've ever seen anyone make, and this is the best of the 3 best. Wow. Look at the determination. He reads run the whole way. He reads Humphrey the whole way. He takes off for the jump before Humphrey takes off for his jump. That is football.
Welcome back in. Hour number 2 here on the Jay Barker Show with Matt Coulter. Lars going to be back with us coming up tomorrow, as well as he's traveling back from the East Coast, but been up seeing some family for Christmas. Also under the weather the last couple of days. I'm glad that he's feeling a lot better. Antonio has been under the weather. We've had a number of our teammates, Matt, that have been under the weather, and we went deep into the bench yesterday as well. I got a reliever of Mick Gillespie, and we're glad to have Matt back with us today. He was working the UAB game, working for UAB, dealing with the Birmingham Bowl and all that. So don't forget, we are presented by Top Golf of Birmingham. Get out and check it out during the holiday season. Hopefully, we talked about getting gift certificates and just maybe going out and buying a time to go out with your family and then have a chance to experience Top Golf, the food, the drinks, just the fun. You'll love it. Top Golf of Birmingham. Also driven by Sunny King Ford on the sunny side of the street. Go see all the great folks there. Tony Russell, the GM at Sunny King Ford on the sunny side of the street, Oxford and Anderson. All right, Matt, give us your story. I want to hear this Madden story, and what a great career for him, from player to coach to broadcaster, and not only a great coach, I think still the winningest coach, right, in Raider history. In one of the, as far as guys that really just, maybe it's winning percentage in NFL, actually, that he still holds. But, man, he could coach him up, and, a lot of people felt like he kind of stepped away from that early on, but really enjoyed his broadcasting career, his movie career, commercial career, all the things that he did. He was such an entertainer.
Yeah, I think his winning percentage in the NFL was 7.69. I mean, good grief. Is Belichick's that good? I'm not sure that it is, but he was remarkable in every step of life. And then from what I understand, I never met him personally, but in the stories that Kenny told me, he was every bit as good a man and coach and friend. And he was one of those NFL guys that could preach the gospel, but he could also go have dinner with you that night. And all of the players had his respect. Anyway, I don't know if this is worth the build-up. Probably not, but I traveled literally the globe with Stabler in the World Football League, and we got to be good friends till, unfortunately, he passed away. And I'll bet they're having a conversation right now that's worth listening into. But Stabler said that they were in one of those swirling snow games, maybe in the playoffs, those great games they had with the Steelers. And do keep in mind their demeanors. Madden is just as animated as a person can get, and Ken Stabler is about as cool as a person can get. But they're driving late in one of those very typical Stabler touchdown drives for the victories. And they end with a 3rd and 21. Madden calls timeout. Stabler just strolls to the sideline. And Kenny said by the time he got to the sideline, Madden was hitting him with his hands because he was just animated. He hit his shoulder pads. He goes, Snake, what are we going to do? What are we going to do? It's 3rd and 21. What's in our playbook? What are we going to run 3rd and 21? What Snake? What are we going to do? Snake, what are you looking at? Kenny wasn't paying any attention. And Madden looked at him and said, Snake. Stabler says, man, people sure are having fun. He was looking up into the crowd. He wasn't paying any attention to Madden. It was great picture on BamaInsider. But then Stabler went out, threw a 25-yard out to Branch, and they went on to win the football game. But that's how different but united those two guys were.
It's a great story, and but that was Madden was just so
I got more, Jay.
animated and everything. Oh, I know. I'm sure. So Guy Chamberlain is actually the highest percentage. And yeah, I'm sure you know who Guy Chamberlain is. I'm not saying that you covered him. Who dominated football with a .783 win percentage during the 1922-27 seasons. So Chamberlain was 28 years old when he started coaching for the Canton Bulldogs. He spent 2 years in Canton before making short stops in Cleveland, Frankfurt, and Chicago. So Chamberlain won 4 NFL championships during his 6-year stint as a coach. Chamberlain also also racked up 2 championships in his time as a player. Now, John Madden comes in at an impressive second place with .759 winning percentage during his tenure as a coach. Madden only served as a head coach for the Oakland Raiders, garnering a record 103, 32, and 7. Madden also won a Super Bowl during the time coaching in California. So, as we talked about earlier, but man, what a great guy, what a great man. And so the a lot of great stories there. I mean, just as a broadcaster, Matt, just kind of breaking down a little bit as a broadcaster, kind of how you felt about him.
Well, as I said earlier, as we were going to the top of the hour, he brought people that didn't really like football or didn't have an interest in football in front of the screen because of his booms and his doink and his talking about players smoking out of the top of their head and fish passing behind him. He was delightful, and he was also a perfect complement to my all-time favorite broadcaster, which was Pat Summerall, who played the game, knew the game, but also learned the broadcaster's role to an absolute high. And they made such a great team. And you could tell in that cut that Josh Smith, our producer, ran at the top of the hour, how much those two guys enjoyed their company. One other thing, I think most people know this, Madden would not fly. He had the Madden bus when he was a broadcaster. That is how he went from game to game. But he had one game a week, so if we played in New England and the next was in Los Angeles, he could take the bus. But Stabler did tell me this, that when they were playing in the NFL, he had to fly. I mean, you play the Jets, and then you got to get back to Oakland. He can't take a bus there and coach a football team. But he said they used to medicate Madden so much that they would pour him on the airplane, and they would give him just enough to where he would sleep, let's say, from New York to Oakland, and then he'd wake up because he wouldn't get on the plane willingly.
Wow. So, I mean, people just have anxiety like that. I mean, there's a lot of artists that are that way. They'd much rather bus all the way to California than fly. They are, I think they just get used to that too, and it becomes their home. But that thing was decked out big time for him, and what it was, it actually just, I've done it for so many years. It's the best way to travel. I mean, when you're able to get done with something that night, go to the bus, you have everything you need on the bus. It's like your second home. You fall asleep, you wake up, you're in a different city. I mean, it's like the best way to travel. When you have a bed, not a Greyhound bus or anything like that, but a real tour bus. But pretty cool. All right, Andrew Bone's going to be joining us coming up next, so stay tuned for that. Yes, yeah. Go ahead.
Okay, sorry. I just wanted to know, sometime you got to do a dive onto the buses that you've traveled in. I've been in a few at NASCAR over at Talladega, but they're a home on wheels. But we'll get to that in a minute. Pardon my interruption.
Yeah, it's amazing. No, not at all. Andrew Bone going to be joining us next at Andrew J. Bone, the letter J Bone. That is his Twitter handle, and we'll get to him talking about some recruiting, the impact of recruiting for Alabama when it comes to the playoffs, being in it. What does that mean? Also, their 22 class. We've talked about how good it is. We'll get more perspective from Andrew about that as the dust is settled, and also the transfer portal, which is huge for Alabama last year, and what kind of impact will it have this year on this recruiting class and some of the players they'll be able to get out of the transfer portal for that next year. All right, we'll talk to Andrew coming up on the other side. Stay with us.
You're listening to The Jay Barker Show, live from the AVX studios in downtown Birmingham.
The city of Tuscaloosa's favorite outdoor ice skating rink is back and better than ever in a new location. Come find us at Government Plaza from November 22nd through January 17th. Skate passes and season tickets can be purchased at holidaysontheplaza.com and make great stocking stuffers. Looking to host a private party or celebration? We've got you covered. Learn more about private party packages at holidaysontheplaza.com.
Did you know not washing your hands after using the bathroom can increase the spread of hepatitis A? Washing your hands with soap and water, as well as getting vaccinated, is the best way to protect yourself if you are at risk of getting hepatitis A. One dose of the hepatitis A vaccine provides long-lasting protection in up to 95% of those who receive it. For more information on the hepatitis A outbreak in our state, visit alabamapublichealth.gov/IMM. Sponsored by the Alabama Public Health, the ABA, and this station.
Don't miss a play at the Sportsbook at Pearl River Resort. Your front row seat to all the action. Place bets on all professional and most college sports at the counter, kiosk, or on your phone. Then catch the game on one of our 20 big screens from the comfort of the newly remodeled Timeout Lounge. Plus, the PRR Sports app gives you access to live, in-play sports betting. Sportsbook at Pearl River Resort. Be more than a fan. Be a player. Must be 21.
Hey, Ray Magliozzi here. I don't know about you, but my car could use a few upgrades. I mean, the 8-inch tier in the driver's seat does have sentimental value since my butt has molded to fit it, but I'm ready to move on. My solution? eBay Motors. They've got all the right parts at the right prices. 122 million of them, from seat covers to whole new seat. So I get that new seat, I think I'll put the old one in the living room, right next to the minivan seats, or as we call it, the sectional. eBay Motors. Let's ride.
We're planning a trip to Spain later this year.
But our Spanish
is pretty bad. So we're using Babbel.
Babbel's conversation-based method teaches you real-life words and phrases. And with Babbel's interactive bite-sized lessons, you'll remember what you learned.
There's no easier way to learn another language.
Ahora hablamos español.
He just said, now we speak Spanish.
Babbel, language for life. Now try Babbel for free. Just go to Babbel.com. That's Babbel.com.
Dell's New Year event is here with amazing deals on XPS and Alienware laptops with Intel Core processors. Kick off 2022 with incredible savings on accessories like webcams, monitors, gaming headsets, all with free shipping. Just call 800-BY-DELL.
Paid for by Christian Care Ministry.
Here's a great thing to consider doing right now before the end of the year. Call MediShare and find out just how much you would save by switching to MediShare, the affordable alternative to health insurance. When you call, you'll get some good news and probably be very happily surprised too. The typical family saves $500 a month, but you might save even more. It's so worth it to at least find out. And you'll see why more than 400,000 people are already members. MediShare is a Christian community that's shared more than $4 billion in each other's healthcare costs. It really is remarkable, and they're very easy to talk to. And here's the thing. If you join before the end of the year, they'll waive your new member fee. That's another $170 you'll save. I'll give you the number here in a second. The call, and you'll get a price within 2 minutes. And again, the deadline is December 31st, so call now. You'll save even more. Call 855-51-BIBLE. That's 855-51-BIBLE. 855-51-BIBLE.
Tide 100.9 Tuscaloosa weather.
Shower and thunderstorm chances will be increasing this afternoon into tonight. Some of the storms will be severe with tornadoes, damaging winds, and hail. So pay close attention to the weather through the day today and tonight. 74 the afternoon high, 65 tonight, 72 tomorrow as storms move out in the morning. I'm meteorologist Bill Murray on Tide 100.9.
It's 79 degrees in Tuscaloosa.
But for me, at least individually, I understand that, winning an award like that is great. And I understand it for what it is. It's about, it reflects what I've done in the past, which is, a huge blessing. But it's exactly that. It's in the past. What I won was about what I've done in the past, was from, what I did and as a team, what we did in the past, which is great. But that doesn't entitle me to anything in the future. It's, everything that's a looking back, type of trophy. For me, that doesn't do anything for me going in. That's not going to mean anything, and that's not going to help us at all. So it doesn't change how I approach anything. It doesn't make any difference for me. I understand as a, just being a part of Alabama, that's a place you come for expectations. You understand what it's like. It's not something that's uncommon for us to have expectations, for us to, have whatever hype around our names that we have. But we understand that doesn't leave us entitled to anything. We have to work as a team. We have to earn everything. Individually, have to earn everything. And that doesn't change regardless of what's going on and whatever external circumstances may say or may change. For me and for us as a team, we understand we have to earn everything. We have to take everything. And, we're on that push as a team to put ourselves in the best position when it comes to Friday.
All right, welcome back in. And that was Bryce Young. I saw where he's a part of the Bitcoin Quarterback Challenge presented by the Cash App. So a lot of that Heisman Trophy is going to probably make him a lot of money. It is in the past. What a great perspective by a young man to talk about it that way and say, look, that's something that is about what I did before, and so much more to look ahead to as far as the playoff game and also a national title game. Let's get to Andrew J. Bone, with Rivals.com and BamaInsider. Always great to have him on and talk through recruiting and just kind of get his perspective as Alabama prepares for their matchup against Cincinnati in that first game in the CFP. Andrew, first of all, Merry Christmas. Hope y'all had a great one. And I know it's your first Christmas with your little one.
Yeah, it was a great Christmas. We had a lot of fun. We had a little bit of a scare the other night. I had to run to Children's Hospital. So,
oh Lord,
the first big scare, but maybe it was just more so scared parents than a child. But everything was okay. So yeah, I guess we had to break our cherry there. So that's what happened.
Man, I'm glad everything was fine. And everything's good. Let's go back a little bit and after the dust settled and just take a look at this recruiting class from this past recruiting class early signing period. And you have to go step by step, but maybe just give us some highlights of some of the players and really what this class will mean for Alabama going forward. And then also want to get your thoughts on kind of where is Alabama, the transfer portal. And you can answer these like 1, 2, 3. Then as far as who you think might enter the transfer portal, who already has from Alabama, and who do you think, or what do you think the player, the type player Alabama will be looking for in the transfer portal?
Yeah, just an overview of the recruiting class. Obviously, top, depending on which website you look at, it's a top 2 recruiting class. It could end up changing. I don't see Alabama ending up with any more high school recruits. I think they could easily end up with another transfer too. Really kind of depending on who enters the transfer portal. Alabama's not just looking at it saying, all right, well, there's a great player right there. Let's go get it. It's got to be somebody that, has a chance to make a significant impact on the team and definitely at a position of need. So, you already have 2 guys that they've added already, and Elias Ricks and defensive back from LSU, and Jahmyr Gibbs, running back from Georgia Tech. Obviously, those are 2 positions where Alabama can use some guys, especially next season. So if you're still looking around, still trying to find somebody that can come in and contribute, potentially a position of need, I think Alabama will look at maybe on the offensive line. I think they'll look at the tight end position. I think those are probably the top 2 areas that they'll probably look at. Maybe defensive line. We'll just have to kind of wait and see. But like I said, I think a lot of it really just depends on who ends up entering that transfer portal from some of these other programs. Because as we've seen these last few years, the guys that they've brought in from the transfers, these are guys that have made significant impact on the team, whether that's Landon Dickerson or, obviously this year with Jamison Williams and Henry To'oTo'o. Those guys have been significant impact players for Alabama. So I think they're certainly going to keep their eyes open and look around. But, yeah, I think you add in Elias Ricks and Jahmyr Gibbs to this recruiting class. If you counted the transfer portals, you potentially make a strong case for it being the top recruiting class in the country. Offensive side of the ball, I think, they hit a lot of big needs there, especially, getting a star quarterback in Ty Simpson, getting somebody that can come in and compete for that starting job after Bryce Young leaves. Obviously, there's some great young talent at the quarterback position, but this is another just absolute superstar that I believe has a chance to be a big impact player down the road. I mean, he's already on campus. Has been going through practice with the team, learning already under the coaches and working with a Heisman Trophy winner in Bryce Young. I mean, that's huge for him and for his future. And then obviously at the wide receiver position, where I felt like they really hit a home run there. I mean, we talked about this last year, man. Alabama signed some great wide receivers in last year's class. I think it was 4 wide receivers in the Rivals 100, and they did that again this year. So you're bringing in a lot more talent. You're bringing in a lot of speed. You get 3 wide receivers from the state of Louisiana. I think that's pretty significant when you go down there and you land 3 guys, the top 3 receivers in Louisiana, Kendrick Law, Shaz Preston, and Aaron Anderson. Certainly a great group of kids. And then obviously with Kobe Prentice from Calera High School, Isaiah Barnes from Buford High School, 2 of the fastest kids in the country. So a lot of speed at the wide receiver group. I thought they did a great job at tight end. Even though they lost the tight end and Jaleel Skinner, I didn't think it was really that big of a deal because they have their big, more inline physical tight end, and Elijah Brown is about 6'5", 245 pounds, and then you have Mari Nieblack, who's 6'4", 230 pounds, and is a 5'8", 40 guy. So you have your big physical tight end plus your athletic playmaking tight end in this class. And defensive line, they only signed 3 defensive linemen, and people kind of make a big deal out of that. I don't really see that as a major deal because Alabama's going to have a lot of defensive linemen coming back on the team next year. So as long as you can really load up in the 2023 class, which I believe is probably the deepest defensive line, most talented defensive line group that I've seen in almost about 18 years of covering high school football recruiting. I mean, I think Alabama's going to have a chance to really load up on the defensive front next year, but certainly got some big names, and Jaheim Otis out of Mississippi, and the defensive end Curtis Perry out of Montgomery. And then linebacker wise, thought they really nailed it out of the park there. Sean Murphy, 5-star linebacker out of Virginia, who's an inside guy. Jeremiah Alexander, outside edge rusher from Thompson High School, who's also a 5-star, and then kind of a late addition, Jahad Campbell, out of IMG Academy, who was originally committed to Clemson, but ends up decommitting from Clemson after Brent Venables left. Joins Alabama's recruiting class. So that was a nice surprise for Alabama, and he was recruited as an inside linebacker. So I felt like they did a really good job late in the process, getting another really good inside linebacker in this class, which I felt like they really needed. And then, defensive backfield, a lot of athletes, more so guys that can play multiple positions. I don't know if there's really a true corner in the class. There's some guys who have played corner in high school, but a lot of these guys are guys who can move around, can play safety, can play free, can play strong, can play in the nickel. I think a lot of them are just going to have to kind of figure it out once they get there. But I think probably the best one is Earl Little Jr. Out of South Florida. His father is a Miami legacy. Earl Little played in the NFL for several years. Has been training them. He's for a long time. 6'2", about 185 pounds, and definitely has some unique athletic ability that a lot of people have already compared him to Minka Fitzpatrick. So it's going to be fun kind of watching him develop and watching a lot of these guys play over the course of the next few years.
Andrew Brown, our guest from Rivals. Appreciate it here on the Jay Barker Show. Andrew, you mentioned Ty Simpson a minute ago. And by the way, Bryce Young had some very flattering things to say about his arm and his accuracy in practice. Ty worked out in the bowl practices. Did any other Alabama early signees, were they able to practice?
No, I don't think so. I think there's some guys that I do think Elias Ricks is already on campus. I don't know if Jahmyr Gibbs has arrived yet, but there have been some guys that have. Most of the guys are not there yet. Most of them are going to be arriving on January the 11th. Obviously, they cannot participate in the bowl game, but they are allowed to practice. They're not allowed to travel with the team, but they are allowed to. They have been allowed to practice with the team.
You want to give us a quick Arch Manning update?
There's nothing new with Arch Manning. Yeah, I know that's the biggest question on everyone's mind in 2020 for that 2023 class. He's obviously the top ranked recruit in the country, and Alabama is certainly a top contender for him. It's going to be interesting because over the course of the last, I would say, 8 months, it felt like there's been a different rumored leader in his recruitment. Whether that was Texas, Clemson, Georgia. I mean, people have talked about Alabama as the leader. I think with Arch, he's just taking it day by day. He's going to enjoy some junior days that are going to be coming up here in the next few months. He's going to take in some official visits, maybe some spring games. I do think he's going to make a decision before the start of his senior season, but I wouldn't expect anything really right now. But Alabama certainly remains heavily in the mix. Will Ty Simpson signing with Alabama, will that have a little bit of an impact on where he ends up going? You never know. I mean, I think with Arch, knowing that Bryce Young's the quarterback right now, and knowing that that competition is going to be wide open, that's something that that could speak to him here in the future. But it's just something we're going to have to kind of wait and see how it all plays out.
You know what, Matt? I think that if a team could get David Cutcliffe to come in and be an analyst or anything, that might give you the place where he might end up with all the Mannings have been with David Cutcliffe at some point as far as tutelage at the quarterback position. I'm not saying he'd be the quarterback coach. I'm saying even if he was just an analyst or part of a team. All right, Andrew J. Bone. That's at Andrew J. Bone. He is the recruiting analyst and our specialist on that when it comes to our show. And for Bama Insider, as you can see all the different commitment lists and stuff, go to BamaInsider.com to find out all that. And also you can hear him and see him on Bama Insider YouTube TV, just like you're doing right now with us live, and different shows he does throughout the week, and keeps us updated on all things recruiting and the Crimson Tide. Hey, just real quick, final question. What's the impact of playing in playoffs for a team like Alabama, Cincinnati, Michigan, and Georgia as far as recruiting? How much do you think that weighs into recruiting classes down the road?
Well, in terms of playing in the playoffs,
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think obviously, Alabama's consistency playing the playoffs each year. I mean, obviously that speaks volumes to recruits because there's never a drop off. You lose so much talent each year. Yeah, you lose coaches, and you continue to see, the same team, in the playoffs year after year. I mean, obviously that has a big impact, and that's why Alabama continues to have plenty of success every single year, no matter no matter who they signed the previous class, no matter who they end up losing on the coaching front. As long as Nick Saban's there, the coaches are going to believe, our players are going to believe that Alabama's going to be right in the mix of things every single year.
All right, my man, great stuff, and again, Merry Christmas to you and your family. All right, Andrew Bone joining us again from BamaInsider.com, part of the Rivals Network, and Alabama's recruiting analyst for us right here on the Jay Barker Show. All right, stay with us. We'll return live from AVX. More to come as we continue to break down and get ready for the 14 playoff. Alabama and Cincinnati first game, and then it's Georgia and Michigan in game number 2 of the college football playoffs. We'll be back.
You're listening to the Jay Barker Show, live from the AVX studios in downtown Birmingham.
1 in 7 men will face prostate cancer. Nearly 500 new cases are diagnosed every day in the U.S. Traditional treatments can cause erectile dysfunction and urinary incontinence. But now there's a new option, high-intensity focused ultrasound, or HIFU.
Men who are really looking for an option that really preserves their urinary and sexual function are great candidates for HIFU treatment.
Preserve your quality of life. Call 866-4-VITURO or visit VituroHealth.com.
Hi, it's Jay Barker for AVX, Audio Video Excellence. They are the premier provider for custom audio-visual design and installation in the Southeast. AVX seeks excellence in everything it does, including a superior employee experience. AVX offers employees an industry-leading salary, insurance benefits, and 401k options. AVX technicians also receive the highest level of certification and continue training, making it one of the most awarded and decorated companies in the industry. Career opportunities are available now for technicians in Birmingham and Santa Rosa Beach, Florida. Join the AVX team by contacting them at avxinc.com.
Hi, this is Wes McClooney, owner of the New Balance Birmingham store. If you're average and you're looking for a new pair of running or walking shoes, I suggest you go to an Average shoe store. where they'll sell you a pair of average shoes built for the average person with average size feet. But here's the thing. You're not average. No one is. We all exercise differently. We run differently. We walk differently. And our feet come in all sorts of widths and lengths. That's why at the New Balance Birmingham store, we employ fit specialists who will conduct an in-depth analysis of your foot's size and shape along with your gait, and then determine the best New Balance shoes custom fit to you. Because New Balance isn't your average shoe, and you're not average either. Experience the difference an unaverage custom fit makes today at the New Balance Birmingham store on Highway 280 next to Chick-fil-A. New Balance Birmingham. Your feet will thank you.
Hi, it's Jay Barker. I want to tell you about my good friends Craig and Keith at Birmingham Broker. Go online at bhambroker.com. That's bhambroker.com or 205-716-1269. Got 7 kids, man, and we had to sell a lot of cars. And these guys are looking for a lot of inventory. They helped us with all the hassle. No stress for us. They did the process as far as the sales and everything. Handled it all the way through. White glove type service. You'll love it. Again, it's bhambroker.com. Sell your car through bhambroker.com or 205-716-1269. Hi, it's Jay Barker for Siebel's in downtown Homewood, and now's the time to get your special place ready. Come in and let Siebel's design your porch with Kingsley Bait outdoor furniture and one of their custom swinging beds. For the great room, you're going to need their Carson swivel recliner. Siebel's is the #1 Carson recliner dealer in the country, and Sarah and I, we've got one, and we absolutely love it. Be sure also to check out their famous custom-made beds and bunk beds, built by Siebel's and made up with some of their best linens in town. Their staff can truly put your bed together like no other store. You can also follow Siebel's and shop on Instagram and Facebook. And be sure to call or go by their special store in downtown Homewood. The number is 800-448-1962. That's 800-448-1962. And just for listening, go to SiebelsCottage.com and order anything you want and type in Jay Barker for a special discount code. That's Jay Barker for a special discount code available only to our listeners for a limited time on the Jay Barker Show. Siebel's in downtown Homewood or online at SiebelsCottage.com.
It's Antonio Langham here to tell you about the easiest way to buy your tickets to your next high school game. Have you ever had to wait in line to buy a high school ticket or stop to get cash on the way to the game? There has to be a better way. There is. It's called GoFan. Check out GoFan.co the next time you need a ticket for a high school game. GoFan is easy, fast, and completely secure. You can buy tickets directly from your phone and just show the ticket at the gate. Download the GoFan app or visit GoFan.co now. That's GoFan. Letter C, letter O.
Yeah, that was rough. That was really rough. Not having him in person for an extended period of time, not having him on the field, for a few practices, that was tough. Someone like OB, who obviously is such a great mind and gives us in the quarterback room and meetings so much intel and knowledge, and then out on the field, the entire offense. Really, really leading that from a coaching standpoint. Whenever you can't have someone like that on the field and around us, he did a great job of, he was still zooming in, he was still running every meeting virtually. So, he was still obviously helping us out throughout everything, and he was on the, he was still talking to us, but. When he's not there in person, you obviously lose that instant feedback, that presence. So that was tough. But like you said, Mort, Montana Murphy did a great job of stepping up in the quarterback room. Those are guys that, again, obviously OB is, who I talk to the most and who gets all the crowd offensively and deserves it. But Mort and Montana have been guys individually the entire year, guys, and I'm always talking to throughout the week, always bouncing ideas off of. Those are guys that I trust completely, and guys that maybe aren't always publicized, but those are the guys who win games behind the scenes. So those guys stepped up tremendously, and they've been doing that all year. Again, it may not be what you see on headlines, but Coach Mort, Montana, they've been doing a great job. There's people that I always juggle ideas off of. I value their input greatly, and the ideas they have show up thoroughly on Saturdays. So those guys stepped up, and we all had confidence in them, and we knew they would. Yeah, like you said, that was that's obviously huge for us, being able to go against our defense and our good on good periods, and especially the growth you get in the offseason going against such a great a great defense with all the talent, and it's so well coached. And like I think you definitely see that when you turn on the film for Cincinnati. You see the talent, you see the players, and sometimes you'll see really good players, but you see a lot of players in Cincinnati that really pop out and stand on the film. And then on top of that, you see how well coached they are. You see the discipline. You see the consistency throughout games. So we understand that this is a great opportunity for us. It's going to be a big challenge for us. So I think really understanding the urgency. I think you could say our defense and the intensity that we have in practice and the intensity that we have in the offseason, we understand it's going to take everything for us to be successful, on Friday. So for us, when we watch the film, we see that, we see that same thing. We see, we see how talented, we see how well coached, we see the discipline. So we understand what it's going to take. We understand that, it's going to take everything during the week, and we're pushing ourselves day in and day out to put ourselves in the best position.
All right, welcome back in. And again, Bryce Young, some of his comments talking about OB, Bill O'Brien, and zooming in for meetings, not being there, but being there virtually, now back with the team. They announced that yesterday, and also getting ready for Cincinnati and how they did that. He brought up Coach Mortensen, which is Coach Mort, and how he helped so much getting the preparation done and behind the scenes, really stepping in that gap that was left while Coach O'Brien was out. But all those guys have been doing it all year long to help Bryce be as successful as he possibly can on the football field. Also, just a number of young players now. They got to step up. To Corey Brooks, we've seen that over the last few weeks when now with Mechie out for this game, who was a great leader at the wide receiver position. What other young guys will step up and he's going to make some big plays as he has over the last few weeks against some really good football teams and some really, really big moments for him to make those plays. So that's been a huge maturation process for him. But Bryce, Matt, just talking about, hey, preparation, getting ready for a very disciplined Cincinnati defense and a team that has stayed undefeated throughout the year and a lot to prove again, wanting to be that not only first group of 5 to make it to the 14 playoff, but the first group of 5 that actually gets to the championship and a chance to play for a national title. They got to go through the best that's been the best for over a decade now, and that's the Crimson Tide.
I just don't know if they're physically up to it. And if, they have the depth, which is huge in a game like this where they're going to just be slobber knocking. They are a group of 5 team, and Alabama's a power 5 team. I mean, there's no separating that. And for that reason, Alabama should win the game, and kind of handily. But you never know. That's an odd-shaped ball, and it takes weird bounces. The funny thing is, Jay, it doesn't seem to do that with Alabama very often. And that's by design. That's because Coach Saban he's the best. His staff is incredible at crafting a game plan. But speaking of which, let me just throw this right back at Jay Barker. What do you expect Alabama to do offensively?
I would think, just based on, they've got really good corners on the outside, so they're going to probably try to man up. Hopefully Alabama can find some different matchups with those guys and get them kind of out of position and get more safety, interaction with some of the slot guys, and even motioning guys like Jamison down in order to get that matchup they want, putting him on a safety instead of a corner unless they go strictly man-to-man all the way across. But I think the biggest thing too is being able to run the football. I mean, that's where it all starts, and that starts in not just the run game, but it starts in the pass game with protection. It starts in the pass game. It helps with the pass game with play action to get the explosive plays downfield. So I think be able to run the football, which I think they should be able to. Our offensive line should be able to handle their defensive front. They have some talented players there. I still think, and as you said, we can out-physical them there. Make the big plays down the field. And the biggest thing, Matt, is just in games like this where that you should win this game with the most talented team on paper. You still got to go play it. This is a team that's won a ton of games the last 2 years, so they have a lot of confidence that they can win games. They believe in themselves, and you can't give them anything more to believe in. In other words, you got to play clean. You can't have penalties. You can't give them those, long down a distance where you're behind the chains and they're ahead of those chains, and you can't turn the ball over or give them non-offensive touchdowns. If Alabama plays as well as they played, especially against Georgia, how they played that fourth quarter and really the overtime against Auburn and some other games this year where they really focused in with a sense of urgency, I think they should be able to handle Cincinnati very well. But at the same time, a team that's won like this can be very dangerous. A team that has the confidence that they've got can be very dangerous, and they've got a really good coach in Luke Fickell.
Yeah, they do. There are questions. Some of you just touched on. Can that offensive line, without Marone and OB and most of the practices on the field, can they regain the power and their success that they had against Georgia, who arguably may have the best defensive front in the nation? And I won't say they manhandled them, but they certainly kept them at bay, both passing and running, where Alabama was able to run up points on the best defense in the nation. I also wonder, you would think B-Rob has got to be 100% at this time. I also feel like, with the guys he's played with, and then this season being up and down with injuries only, I would really, really love to see this be B-Rob's wonderful graduation party, because he has been out of the limelight most of his career, and even when he got it this year, he couldn't enjoy it. And then again, I would like to see Trey Sanders get a bunch of touches too, and see if Alabama can't get their running game. Alabama gets 150 yards on the ground. I think they're winning this game pretty easily. Your thoughts are maybe on the other side of this break on B-Rob and his season, Jay. I would enjoy hearing that.
Yeah, let's do that. We'll do it on the other side. And also want to remind you about a great company, one of our great sponsors, DTPM. And when it comes to lab services or any type of lab equipment, if you're looking to set up a lab inside your practice as a doctor, hospital, as urgent care, as any type of reference laboratory, DTPM has been around since 1993, trusted since 1993. Your total solution provider that provides a comprehensive array of diagnostic lab testing equipment, supplies, and services. Visit their website at dtpm.com to learn more. They're a leading provider of turnkey laboratory solutions, currently servicing customers in 47 states and growing. They remain national in scope, but local in service. So if you're looking for those laboratory services or setups, DTPM, you're your partner from the beginning, providing customizable total program management solutions, including complete laboratory setup and management. They provide total program management services for treatment centers, physician office, recovery courts, urgent care, reference laboratories, really any practice that if you're taking lab in or if you're sending labs out, more importantly, you can keep those in-house. Better outcomes for your patients and a lot better outcomes for your practice as well. So take advantage of that. Go to dtpm.com, dtpm.com for more information. All right, we'll return and finish up hour number 2 on this Wednesday edition, 2 days away from the CFP playoffs.
You're listening to The Jay Barker Show, live from the AVX studios in downtown Birmingham.
Roll Tide, the best sports talk, period. Your home for Alabama sports. Tide 100.9 and streaming on the Tide 100.9 app.
Do you have 3 ex-wives and your current trophy wife wants a life insurance policy 3 times the size of the policies you had to purchase for your previous mistakes? If so, you need to call Big Lou at Term Provider, 800-777-1225. Big Lou is intimately familiar with your problems, and if you're 50 or 60 years old and in reasonably good health, a $1 million policy should only cost about $100 to $200 per month. Big Lou may have a solution for your previous policy as well. You may even save enough money to lighten the load on your new $1 million policy. Remember, call Big Lou. He's like you, except he's only on number 2. Call Term Provider at 800-777-1225. That's 800-777-1225 for $1 million in term life insurance that you can live with. Call Big Lou at 800-777-1225. 800-777-1225.
First, we decide where we want to go. Then we need to know the best way to get there. Hi, my name's Adam Barada. I'm the owner of Advantage Gold. We're the highest rated precious metals firm in the country. We teach people how to own physical gold and silver. Now, we've won the Best of TrustLink Award 4 years in a row because we educate our clients on how to buy gold and silver the right way. We don't pay celebrity spokespeople millions of dollars. We'd rather pass that value on to you. Call 800-900-8000 and speak with one of our experts. We'll send you a free gold kit along with my latest #1 national best-selling book, The Great Devaluation. Call 800-900-8000. That's 800-900-8000. Get the best information, the best process, the best service, the best value. Call Advantage Gold at 800-900-8000. Call 800-900-8000.
Dell's New Year event is here with up to $200 off on laptops with Intel Core processors. Check out the precision-crafted Dell XPS laptop with all the performance you need to unleash your creativity. Or game without limits with powerful Alienware PCs engineered for the ultimate gaming experience. Kick off 2022 by scoring incredible savings on accessories like webcams, monitors, gaming headsets, and more. Plus free shipping on everything. Just call 800-BUY-DELL. That's 800-BUY-DELL.
You're always up for some fun with the family, so you order the essentials, a new board game, some baking supplies, and even a new projector for outdoor movie night. And with the Bank of America customized Cash Rewards credit card, you can choose to earn 3% cash back on online shopping, which could increase to up to 5.25% as a preferred rewards member. Rewards which you can put toward an extra treat that everyone will enjoy, like an old-fashioned popcorn machine. Visit bankofamerica.com/more rewarding and apply now. Copyright 2021 Bank of America Corporation.
COVID-19 has disrupted our lives, but it won't have the last word. We will. Across Alabama, thousands are getting vaccinated to protect themselves and others. Find out where you can get the COVID vaccine today at alabamaunites.com. Please get vaccinated. If you have symptoms, also get tested for COVID-19. Alabama Unites Against COVID. Sponsored by the ADPH, the ABA, and this station.
Tide 100.9 Tuscaloosa weather.
Shower and thunderstorm chances will be increasing this afternoon and tonight. Some of the storms will be severe with tornadoes, damaging winds, and hail. So pay close attention to the weather through the day today and tonight. 74 the afternoon high, 65 tonight, 72 tomorrow as storms move out in the morning. I'm meteorologist Bill Murray on Tide 100.9.
It's 79 degrees in Tuscaloosa.
Out of 5 years I've been here, this is my fourth, playoff experience. So, that's multiple years, just, playing at this time of the year, preparing for games like this. So, after 4 years of, playing in the playoffs, I just have a lot of experience of, practicing and just preparing for big games, such as the one we got coming up. So, it's nothing new to me, same routine, just got to prepare as hard as we can. It's harder than we prepared all season, at this moment right now.
All right, welcome back in as we wrap up hour number 2 here on this Wednesday edition. Again, 2 days away from that bowl match right there, the Cotton Bowl with Cincinnati and the Crimson Tide, also Michigan and Georgia in that second game coming up on New Year's Eve. God, hard to believe we're already, just 2 days away from these games. And again, Alabama in the CFP college football playoffs and a chance to play for what would be their 19th national championship if they're able to win it again, and 2 in a row for the Crimson Tide. But B-Rob, you were talking about him earlier. He played such a huge role in that Georgia matchup. A lot of people didn't feel like he was going to be there to be a part of that. And, man, some of the key blocks and just the way that they were able to block those guys up, things that they had not done this year. I mean, a lot of that was, them going low, blocking guys to where they couldn't get their hands up, as well as, taking them kind of out, clearing the pocket for Bryce and just moving in the pocket as well. But yeah, B-Rob should be a lot healthier, Matt, going into this game with the time off, and was really, surprised and grateful for him that he was able to play in the SEC title game. There was a lot of questions leading up to that. I mean, it was really day-to-day, hour-to-hour, game-time type decisions that were being made. And, he had not really practiced a ton that week, but man, what an impact he had in that game. And, just seeing some of the other guys step up as well has been huge. But he's a leader for this team. They need him on the field. They want him on the field. And he leads not just on the field, but also in the locker room.
Well, and his experience is going to be invaluable, as he just mentioned, 4 of his 5 years in the playoffs. In the things that Bryce Young needs, you hope he grinds out 80 to 100 yards and scores a couple of touchdowns on the ground. But very important to Young and the passing offense, even though he's good at catching the ball out of the backfield, that he can protect that blind side as a running back. So that's important too. But I'm just looking at stats, and I guess they're kind of about where people would expect Brian Robinson to be. He is 10th in Alabama rushing history in number of touchdowns. He has 29. And he is 15th in Alabama yardage gained as a running back at 2,432. Actually, in my eyes, it's a little higher than I thought he would be. So I'd love to see him go out with an MVP-like performance. But I think he, like everybody else on that team, coaches included, would just like to go out with a win and follow up with another shot, as you just said, at a 19th national championship.
Yeah, if you don't mind, and Josh, you had the stat up there on the screen for the people at BamaInsider. Go back one slide if you don't mind, and where you had as far as his rushing yards against Ole Miss and the type of game that he played. It was 177 yards rushing and 4 touchdowns. Yeah, that's what it was, 4 touchdowns. And that, to me, Matt, is the type of day that he could have against a team like Cincinnati. Man, I think as far as, Cincinnati's got athletes, they've got speed, but Alabama's size up front should be able to deal with their front seven. The outside, their corners are NFL corners. They're long, they're fast, they got great hips, that type of stuff. Even though I still think we can challenge them as we did Georgia and in their secondary. But that would be great for him to be able to come out with that. He was named the Walter Camp National Offensive Player of the Week that week as well, and the first Crimson Tide player to earn the weekly honor since Najee Harris did back in 2020 at that point in time, and when he had this huge game against Ole Miss, as you see right there with the slide. So good stuff, Josh. Thank you for putting that up. All right, as we finish out the show, and Matt, thank you. Glad you got back. I'm glad you had a good time yesterday being a part of the Birmingham Bowl as well. Lars is going to join us tomorrow, so look forward to getting him back in studio with us as well, as he's making his way back from Virginia and seeing family and overcoming a little bit of sickness as well. So he'll be doing a lot better. He's tested well and doing well, and we're thankful for that. But for Matt Coulter, Jay Barker, also Josh Smith, our producer, we appreciate you guys every day, not only listening to us throughout the network, but also watching us live on our YouTube channel, on BamaInsider, and also BamaInsider Facebook Live as well, every day from noon to 2 o'clock. So we'll be back tomorrow and for the Thursday edition, one day away from the college football playoffs beginning. Thank you for joining us. Have a great day.
Hi, this is Wes McClooney, owner of the New Balance Birmingham